Well, senators are ready for a showdown on health care reform now that the debate is beginning again. And joining us this morning to talk about it is New Mexico Senator Tom Udall. Senator, thank you so much for being with us.
Good morning, Mike. Good to be with you.
Well, recently the Senate, by the slimmest of margins, voted to finally get to this debate. And I guess the question is, where are we at right now, and is this debate ever going to end?
Well, I think the debate, Mike, is going to end, and what we're really looking at, we started 2 days of debate. We're probably now looking at maybe 2 to 3 weeks of debate leading up to Christmas, then closing out the debate, passing the bill, going into a conference with the House, and trying to do everything we can to get a bill that both bodies can agree on that we can send up to the president.
And then, of course, you have the Democrats and the Republicans fighting over this. So far, no Republicans really embraced it at all. In fact, you're having a hard time keeping 3 or 4 Democrats on board.
No, that's very true, and it was very disappointing and discouraging to me to see that all of the Republicans voted to not start on the bill. I mean, basically what that vote was about is let's bring the bill to the floor and start the debate, start the amendment process, and start moving down that road. So I was disappointed in that, but I'm going to continue talking to my Republican friends and see what we can do to pull them together and get them aboard on the bill.
Does that mean either altering or dropping altogether the public option, which I know you don't want?
Well, I don't want to drop the public option. I believe if you look at the marketplace right now, these huge insurance companies dominate the healthcare market. In New Mexico, 2 companies control 65% of the market. What the public option does is put us with a public option. We're talking a nonprofit. It's not going to be government run or anything, into the marketplace dedicated solely to health care. And that kind of competition, I think, would be very healthy. So I don't want to see that dropped out at all.
Well, you've heard the argument from the Republican side and some Democrats that the public option is government-run health care, and it's hard to get past that with some people.
Yeah, well, that's true, but let's look at what the bill says. I mean, you know, people can put a label on something, but the bill says that you would have an infusion of money to start it, and then that would have to be paid back to the federal government within 10 years. And then the federal government's out of it, and it totally operates on the premiums it receives from the people that sign up. No government involvement. It's not government run. And then you move down the road of basically having it compete with the other insurance companies. And I think it would do a good job of competing because it would be a nonprofit dedicated to health care, giving the very best health care to the people that sign up.
One other point about the health care debate, the expense of it. We know about the price tag. It is huge no matter how you look at it. Is it reasonable, and will it eventually be something that will save Americans money?
Well, that's our objective. You know, right now you take a family of 4 and they're paying about $12,000 a year for health care. That's expected to double in the next 10 years. So that's a dramatic increase. What we're trying to do is drive the costs down, make it more competitive, and make sure that we're providing better health care. You know, we don't have very good health care outcomes in terms of our health care system compared to the rest of the developed world.
Well, of course, the health care debate is contentious, but so is the debate over Afghanistan, and the president is about to unveil his strategy. It sounds like maybe as many as 35,000 more troops may be sent there. We don't know yet. Your position on what the president should do, and can there be a consensus about this?
Well, I think, Mike, it's extremely important that we give the president the time he needs to pull together all the experts, to bring the generals back, and to really find out what is the very best policy for our country. I think we're going to see right after Thanksgiving him give a major speech to the nation and outline this. I hope that we'll be able in the Congress to work with him on these issues and raise the questions, have hearings, bring the General McChrystal and others down and see what we're focusing on. I can tell you I'm skeptical that additional troops are going to be the way to go. I really believe we need to Afghanize this. We need to train their police and train their army and have them build the schools and communities. I mean, too much of this has been done by us, and they get dependent on us. And our American ambassador has actually said that. He says more troops will make them more dependent. And so I want to really look closely at what the president outlines. I have an open mind. I mean, he has all these experts, but from everybody I've talked to, I think we need to put the Afghans in the lead on this.
No matter what he decides, and we have just a few seconds, it's been tradition in this country that the Congress and the American people rally around a president in a time like war. Is that possible, considering the rhetoric we're hearing?
Well, what we're going to see is the president lay out his plan. I think there are many of us in the Congress. I've been there in the House monitoring this situation since 9/11. I think it's time that the Afghans step up. The president has said some things very hopeful on that point. He said this isn't open-ended. He's going to have off-ramps and an exit strategy. So I want to see what he really says. You know, we're getting a lot of leaks right now, and so the important thing is to listen to him, see what the plan is, get the people, the Defense Secretary, General McChrystal, General Petraeus, and the others down into the Congress and see what the specifics are.
Senator Udall, thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Have a happy holiday for you and your family.
Thank you.